going on, Jerome's? So the Josh Dobbs phenomena, a.k.a. the Passtronaut, just absolutely taken over. It's been a lot of fun. And him coming in at the trade deadline, Kwesi making a fantastic move, basically getting him from the Cardinals for nothing. And the career journeyman backup has really turned things up for the Vikings. 2 great wins over the Falcons and the Saints, and a very near-run thing against the Broncos. And I don't know, maybe if Kareem Jackson wasn't so dirty, Vikings would have got a win. No big deal. But either way, Passtronaut Mania is still here, and he has been a big reason why the Vikings have continued to win despite losing Kirk Cousins for the season. Him coming in for Jaron Hall against the Falcons, looking dynamite, not even knowing his teammates' names, not even knowing the playbook. It's been great, man. But the Vikings are still firmly in a playoff fight, and if the Vikings want to make some noise when the games matter, I think Josh Dobbs is going to be a big part of that. And even though, yes, he is far ahead of where a guy who's been with the team for 3 or 4 weeks should be, he sort of ruined the expectations for him, because now he set the bar so high that we want more. We wanted more than we can give, all that stuff. But here are 5 things that Josh Dobbs needs to improve on going forward for the Vikings. And, the whole thing about it is, like, he is fully capable of doing these things, and the Vikings are capable of playing some extremely good football with him under center. First up, number 1, ball security. So a lot has been made about Alexander Mattison and his fumbles, and running backs do fumble. I mean, we saw that with Dalvin, but just the timing of Mattison's fumbles is what kills you, where it completely changed the game with the Broncos, and it completely changed the game week 2 against the Eagles, and it's just no good. But Josh Dobbs can't really gloss over that. I mean, Dobbs, whether it's snap exchanges, whether it's whatever, I mean, he's turfed the ball 14 times this year, combined with the Vikings and the Eagles, combined Vikings and the Cardinals, and he's lost 7 fumbles, including 6 fumbles with the Vikings, and he lost 3. So he's had 3 fumbles against the Falcons, which is quasi-understandable, first week on the job, sure, but then he had 3 fumbles against the Broncos, which is just... it's inexcusable. And part of it is on the exchange with him and Bradbury, but part of him is just, whatever. And one of the fumbles against the Broncos, the one that he lost, was because of the Kareem Jackson dirty hit. But although it was coming out when Browning was prying the ball up, doesn't matter. But either way, got to take care of the rock, because that's the reason why the Vikings have lost these games, is losing the turnover battle, and just the fumbles have been absolutely killer, and Dobbs needs to get that cleaned up. Next up, thing number 2 that Dobbs needs to improve on: cut down on YOLO balls. And so you saw that to a degree in the Falcons and the Saints game, but you definitely saw that against the Broncos, where, I mean, there was a handful of throws that were just in the midst of Broncos defenders, and there probably should have been 2, 3, 4 interceptions that game. But 4 to 5 throws, just... you got to cut down on that. And also, like that 3rd down throw when the Vikings were in field goal range at the end of the game, where he just sort of... he almost like chucked it underhanded in the direction of the sidelines. Like that easily could have gone pear-shaped very quickly. But reducing those, and part of that is on Kevin O'Connell. Part of that is certainly on Josh Dobbs. But cutting down on those is going to be really important. Next up, number 3. Let it ride. So I understand that it seems counterintuitive to what we just said about cutting down on YOLO balls, but when the deep shots are there, you got to take them. Now, he has been facing a lot of 2 deep safeties because basically they just don't want to give up the big play to the Vikings, but Dobbs' average depth of target is only 7.1 yards downfield, which is 25th of 35 qualifying quarterbacks. So I don't know whether it's him because, I mean, with the Cardinals, like he was not averse of chucking it, but I don't know whether it's him, whether it's Kevin O'Connell, whether it's the lack of Justin Jefferson, but the Vikings just have not taken many deep shots. And that's something that Kevin O'Connell does need to start scheming up. Guys need to start getting open, and Dobbs needs to start letting it ride, because, I mean, defense is starting to creep up in the box. That's one of the reasons why the run game has been hit or miss at times, as well as they're trying to mug Josh Dobbs at the line of scrimmage when he decides to run. But lightening up those boxes and taking advantage of coverage deep downfield and just letting it ride, just chucking that pigskin, it's something that Dobbs needs to do. Next up, number 4, throw it with anticipation. Now, part of this is, hey, he's literally been in this offense and literally been with his teammates for a couple of weeks, even though he's had some quick chemistry with Hockenson because they work out together in the offseason. But part of that is going to come with time in the offense, where right now he's a guy who throws when it's open, but he has to throw guys open, if that makes sense. And part of it is, again, this is nitpicking because Dobbs is way far ahead of where a quarterback who's been in the offense for 3 weeks should be. But if he can't make that adjustment, Kevin O'Connell is going to have to adjust and make things a little bit simpler. I mean, things are already relatively simple because of his time in the offense, and it's been the relative vanilla package. But being able to get on the same page with some of these receivers, and remember, he hasn't played a snap yet with Justin Jefferson, so that's going to be another variable tossed into the calculus when JJ does return. But either way, he's got weapons, he's got protection, and he's got a good head coach in Kevin O'Connell working with him, so things should be able to gel down the stretch. Lastly, number 5, run. Now, you may say that this is weird since Josh Dobbs, like, that's what he's really known for. He's second in the league in quarterback rushing yards with 389 behind only Lamar. Yes, he's ahead of Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen, etc., and also does have 6 rushing touchdowns. But the thing I like about Dobbs is that he's not really a running quarterback. He's a quarterback who can run. And we praised him for not just one read, tuck and run, but sometimes he had to do that, man, because he has to realize that his legs, his running ability are his best asset and the thing that stresses out defenses the most. Because again, we praised him because sometimes, like, he'll escape the pocket, he'll keep things moving, he'll keep looking downfield and trying to make a play, especially in the Falcons game. I mean, that was gorgeous, playing schoolyard football, basically. But at a certain point, like, he has to understand, like, hey, if it's 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, and I'm trying to make a play downfield, just take off. I mean, get the first down, move the chains, take the profit, and go from there. And again, Kevin O'Connell and Josh Dobbs need to realize that is what freaks defenses out the most, especially on 3rd down, especially on 3rd and forever, is that, hey, he can take off at any point, and he needs to add that stress back to the defense, because it felt like against the Broncos, and yeah, Vance Joseph, Vance Refrigeration and company, they did do a pretty good job at corralling him, but it has to be a spot where it's like, I'm going to take off. All right, and if you can defend it, go ahead. And if not, adjust your defense and open things up downfield. So that's exactly what he needs to do. But, I mean, overall, I'm still super pumped about the way that Josh Dobbs has played as of late. Could he prove to be the guy? I mean, that's still TBD, and he still has a chunk of games to prove it. But, I mean, Monday night is really important because I don't know if he's guaranteed the job the rest of the way, because remember, Jaren Hall was drafted by this administration, as well as spent the entire offseason and training camp in this offense, and he was QB2 for a while, and he did get the start over Dobbs, even though, yes, Dobbs was only here for 3 days against the Falcons, and Jaren Hall did look pretty good. So, I mean, Josh Dobbs needs to look fantastic against the Bears on Monday night. Otherwise, the Vikings will have a tough decision into the bye week, because these 5 games at the end of the season, Kevin O'Connell has said they're extremely important, with 3 in division, 2 at home against the Lions and the Packers. So Dobbs got to step up. And Dobbs, it's been a really fun story so far, but don't let good be the enemy of great. And I mean, Dobbs has elevated his game. He's got to elevate it more for the Vikings to have a shot moving forward. But your thoughts are thoughts. 5 things Josh Dobbs needs to improve on. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.